Alright, hi. If you don't know what Danganronpa is, and you haven't watched any of our playthroughs, you're not going to care about this episode.
Don't watch it.
If you do care about Danganronpa, this is not an episode, this is just a podcast. Put it on while you do a run or something. And if you've been watching our Danganronpa playthroughs, and you don't know anything about the anime, and you want to watch it, look it up. It's too complicated to explain. But yeah, we watched the Danganronpa anime, Danganronpa 3, The End of Hope's Peak. I didn't do a reaction because that's too complicated, and no one cares. Yeah. Danny, what did you think of the greatest anime on Earth?
So I'm going to start this in the worst way possible.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, so you watched this, 5 months ago?
Probably.
Like January-ish?
I probably watched it around, December.
January, February-ish? Yeah, it was 5 months ago, so he doesn't remember any of it. I'm going to go through the main points that matter.
Yeah, go through, let's go through each episode.
I wasn't even going to go that far.
Just give me a brief,
Brief synopsis. So there's 2 arcs to this anime, right? Yes. The Future arc and the Despair arc, and I'm moving things around. I don't do podcast setups. Sorry. There's the Future arc and the Despair arc. The Future arc takes place after everything that happened in Danganronpa, and you have a cast of the Future Foundation playing a killing game, where they are put in a room, they're put in their bunker or whatever, and they all have little wristbands that say, you can't do this, and every few hours they fall asleep, someone wakes up, they're told to kill someone, and then everyone else wakes up and sees who's dead.
Yes.
And if they make it through one of those time limits without anyone dying, then they win the game and the killer's been presumably killed, right? Also, we're going to talk full spoilers, right from the beginning, so don't even, if you haven't watched it and you want to, turn this off. Yeah, so that happens. And then in the Despair arc, you have the story of everything before Danganronpa 1, where you see how the crew of Danganronpa 2 became Despair under Juko's influence in quotations.
Yes.
And you get to just a slice of life anime with the crew from Danganronpa 2. And if you watched the subs, I'm sorry, I think you watched... you watched subs.
Subs, yes.
You did not watch dubs. It's very bad.
Yeah.
So I want to go through a few of the least favorite parts of the anime.
Okay, you're going to have to really paint me a picture of it.
Yeah, so to start, right, the Future arc.
So yeah.
Yeah,
we have the survivors.
We have a cast of characters, right? We have Makoto from the Danganronpa 1. I can't just skim through. Gosh darn it. I did this wrong. It's fine. And then we have Kyoko, right? Kyoko Kirigiri, the ultimate detective. Oh, and
are they all web files?
They also have... I didn't know it was all web files. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So, yeah, they have, forbidden actions they can't do during the game, and those are fun. And you do eventually learn everyone's if you really pay attention. I don't expect you to have seen all of them.
I think I looked it up at some point.
Yeah, so Makoto's was he can't run in the hallways.
Once the game was over, I wanted to see.
That's funny. Kyoko's was if she makes it through 4 time limits with Makoto alive, then she... she dies.
That was, that was stupid.
Yes, it was stupid, correct.
It's like if you're playing Never Have I Ever, and you say that thing that one person's done, just to get him out.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
It's just a low blow.
And then you had Aoyase Hina.
Yeah,
she couldn't get hit by a punch or a kick.
Oh,
which is
all right.
Tough because everyone starts fighting, right?
Right.
The last survivor was Yasuhiro Higakure, who did not
outside.
have a wristband because he was outside and everyone hated him, as Monokuma said.
Yes.
During one of the recaps, Monokuma goes, he's outside because nobody likes him.
I don't even remember who did the killing game. Who was behind it.
Yeah, so we'll get there. That's one of the worst parts. Then you have the chairman of the Future Foundation, Kazuo Tengen.
Kazuo Tengen.
The old man.
Yes.
The old man who had a wrist gun.
I remember Tengen.
Yeah, so he was the old man. He couldn't tell a lie. That was his forbidden action.
Okay.
And then you have this guy, Kyosuke Munakata, who's kind of the main crew dude. He was the ultimate
swordsman?
Student council member in high school, and then he graduated.
Okay.
And now he's just a
sword?
dude who couldn't open doors. That was his forbidden action. Well, they're all good at swords because it's a shonen anime.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
It's where everyone fights.
Yes. But
is it shonen anime, or is it another term for it?
Physical... We have, hand-to-hand fighting.
Yeah.
Aplenty.
Yeah.
And then, one guy with a sword.
Yeah.
So I was he's probably the ultimate swordsman.
No, that's fair. No, he was the ultimate student council member.
Okay.
And then his lady friend, Chisa Yukizome.
She was the principal.
She was not.
No.
She was their teacher.
Who? The teacher. Yes,
of
sorry.
the class of 2. And she was the housekeeper.
She was despaired.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
We have Juzo Sakukura,
who I kind of thought was going to be the protagonist because he got the jacket.
Oh, that's fair. He does have the jacket. He was a boxer.
Yeah, and he wasn't allowed to punch.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't allowed to punch.
Right. He only could use weapons.
Chisa technically wasn't allowed to have Kyosuke Munakata die. So if he died, then she was dead.
Well...
But she was the first one to die, so it didn't matter.
Didn't he end up hitting Hina with stuff?
That wasn't his fists.
Yeah, so they got to... They made sure that...
Yeah.
He got to attack somebody, and she got to get hit and all that, so
that was
no
funky.
One figured it out.
This guy, do you remember him at all?
I liked him.
Yeah? Koichi Kizakura. So he's buddies with the headmaster.
Yeah.
Who was Kyoko's dad.
Yeah.
And he was all, like, weird and drinking all the time.
Yeah, he was Haymitch.
Yeah, he was Haymitch. He used to be a scout at the school. And
That's what it was.
His forbidden action was that he couldn't open his left hand, which was really stupid.
Wait, what?
Yeah, do you remember that?
Like he had a fist.
He had to have a fist the whole time, and then Kyoko was falling, and he reached out to catch her, and then he died.
Oh yeah, his hand like turned purple.
Yeah,
as
because
he was
the
it.
forbidden action. Yeah, yeah, that was silly. Yeah, spoilers. This one is what's her name?
She's the
Seiko Kimura,
the pharmacist.
Yes, who was also insane. A little bit.
It was hard to gauge.
She couldn't have anyone step on her shadow.
She was one of the students.
Yes.
She was the Despair arc.
They were students the year before Danganronpa 2, the year before Danganronpa 1. That was the order of students.
Okay.
So yeah, she was there. They got expelled because Nagito blew up the gym.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because he's Nagito, and of course he did. But yeah, she couldn't have her shadow get stepped on, which is a perfectly normal, natural thing. This is Ruruka, who everyone goes, maker. I'm gonna love her, and then she's the worst.
I did not love her.
Yeah, she's cute.
She's just obnoxious.
She's the worst person. She's terrible. Ruruka Ando, her forbidden action was someone leaving.
What do you mean leaving?
The playing area. During the killing
escaping?
game. Yeah, if someone left, then she would die.
Okay.
There was a whole thing, they opened a bookshelf, and she was like, oh no, don't leave, and then it wasn't actually a thing.
Yeah.
None of this actually matters, that's the cool part.
Okay.
This is... Daisuke... No. Something Izuyoi.
Was he using the sword? No.
He was a blacksmith. So he would throw knives and stuff.
That's right, he was the knife guy.
He was the knife guy who would always eat her candy.
Yeah.
But then he couldn't because eating was his forbidden action.
Yeah.
Yeah. This girl has a full body shot for some reason. This is the therapist who had Monami as her little persona.
Yeah. She was the robot.
Yeah, she was the robot. But she wasn't a robot. She was a real person.
But she was not.
She was killed by Monica.
Yeah.
And then Monica was playing the robot.
Yeah. Which, like, the first time I thought that maybe the person in the wheelchair was actually a person needed to be in the wheelchair.
Yeah. She does, to be fair.
She's dead. She doesn't need it anymore.
She was dead, yeah. They had her, like, neck twisted or something.
That'll do it.
She was the therapist. She helped make the Neo World program, if you care about lore.
I didn't know she was a therapist at all.
Yeah, she was the ultimate therapist in high school, which doesn't work, but...
Forbidden action wasn't...
It was turning left.
It didn't... Oh, yeah, and she was open about it.
Yeah, because she had to go whoop every time she wanted to turn
Because
left.
if she turned left, she wouldn't have gotten poisoned, and then people would have been like...
Yeah,
hey.
that's weird.
Yeah.
This is Daisuke Bandai.
Yeah, I hated his voice.
Yeah, I think it's racist. I'm not sure. He's the ultimate farmer. Or was the ultimate farmer.
Farmer?
Yeah.
He died early.
He died very early because his forbidden action was seeing violence.
That's so unfair.
Yeah, and then Punchy Guy kneed the animator dude in the chest, and then he died.
Yeah.
He was just there to be an example. He was a racist caricature and had a very high-pitched, weird voice. Yeah. And he's just kind of weird.
But he was like there. So... No, okay, I'm mixing
the
up
Great
with
Gozu, Daniel.
I don't understand.
He's the ultimate wrestler, so he's just a WWE guy.
I didn't know why there was
just
a
the Great Gozu.
I just figured they wouldn't tell me.
Yeah, no, he's just a wrestler.
They didn't. He was just...
Anything you saw in Danganronpa 1 and 2 was cranked up to 11 in the anime.
I was like, he's just a bull. Like,
he's just a bull.
There's whatever genetic experiments they've been doing, this was probably one of them.
It's just a mask, bro.
I really thought that was too obvious, and they were going to be like,
you can see his hair.
He also is huge, so I thought he had like bull genes.
That's fair. No, I mean, you could at this point, Danganronpa, you could do anything. Like
I didn't know.
It may as well be magic the way they use their talents. Like Nagito is magic. He's not lucky. He's magic.
He has a superpower.
Anyways, yeah, he died early, but his forbidden action was being pinned for a 3 count, which is not going to happen because he's a wrestler. So
why did he die? He just got killed.
He was the first one that died during the time limit. Well. Okay, technically Chisa was the first one that died.
Didn't he, die protecting Makoto or something?
No, they were all in a room together. We'll get there. We'll go through the order of it. And then this guy. Do you remember him? The main character?
Yeah. I don't even recognize him like this.
His name is Ryota Mitarai. He's the ultimate animator. His forbidden action was using his talent.
But why would he do that?
Do you remember? He's magic. He's magic.
Yeah, that he can hypnotize you with his anime. So was them playing it on the TVs considered using his talent? Because otherwise, I can't see him stopping to start drawing.
Well, no. The thing is, like, once they get the bracelets off, then he shows them the hypnotism video. So that's what it meant. Was don't show them your magic anime.
Okay.
That can hypnotize people. But there's a fan theory. That because in the end,
I'm just gonna tell you, I might need you to go through what actually happens before I get into fan theory.
Fair,
because I don't know.
All I'm gonna say is there's a theory he wasn't supposed to be there.
Okay,
he showed up on accident because at the beginning, Tengen is like, "Why are you here?" And there's a theory that Hagakure was this guy was supposed to have his bracelet, and so he wasn't supposed to predict the future during the game, and he was supposed to be inside. But since he's outside, it's weird. Anyways. None of that matters. So, they have their little game, and Makoto shows up and they said, "Hey, you helped all these ultimate despair people. What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And Makoto said, "They were cool guys." And then they're like, "You're under arrest, Makoto." And then he gets punched, and they're like, "Okay, we'll pause. We'll pause so you can heal." While that happens, they all get trapped in there. This game starts. Kyoko does her detectiving. They figure things out. The first person to die, I think, is Chisa, because she is the first one to watch the video. That's what it ends up being, is a video.
She watches the video and then, what? Kills...
Herself.
Herself.
So the plot twist is that there's no killer.
Off the chandelier or whatever?
The plot twist is there's no killer, right?
Yeah.
It's a brainwash magic anime video.
They always killed themselves.
That makes you kill yourself because you're so despairful or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think she just climbed the chandelier for dramatic effect, because why not?
I thought they woke up. She was... dead up there.
Yeah, and then the chandelier fell for dramatic
effect. And then
effect.
she fell and died.
Yes.
But
she was already dead.
How did she die up there?
They get a knife and they stab themselves a lot.
Did they, like, find it or something?
It was in her heart when she fell, yeah.
Well, that'll probably do it.
So she dies, the game starts, everyone splits up. Makoto, Hina, therapist girl, and the great Gozu go to a room, they lock themselves in.
Yeah.
And then they wake up, and Hina has, like, a knife in her chest and blood on her. And then it wasn't. It was a prank by Monica. Do you remember that?
Wait.
They make you think, like, episode 3 that Hina dies.
Yes, I remember that.
And then she didn't. It's just ketchup and a fake knife. Danny's working through this. I'm skipping the despair arc things.
Episode 3.
Because the despair arc really doesn't matter.
I made a comment saying the 8-bit remix of one of the themes that was playing was really cute.
Yeah.
The Monokuma and Monami banter was even better in Japanese.
It's incredible.
I made a point about saying the protagonist-looking jacket might be indicating his protagonist.
That's fair.
And the only other thing I put was, she got a big owie. Because she had, like, a knife in her.
Jeez,
or something. What?
Yeah, so I watched this with my Discord chat, and they had already seen it. And so we ended with the episode where Awie's stabbed. And I was like, this is the worst. And it ruined my day. And then the next day it was like, oh, never mind. And I was like, what?
Yeah, they really didn't play it up.
It's not a good anime. Let's just say that. It's not a good anime. By any means. But it's a fun one. Yeah, so then Great Gozu, then they see him hanging. He, like, stabbed himself through his eyeballs, and he died, and whatever. Also, yeah, this guy got killed. The farmer guy got killed because he saw violence.
Yeah.
He gets stabbed through the eyeballs. Things continue. I don't remember exactly which order. At some point, Tengen and Munakata are fighting.
Yeah.
Tengen has an arm gun. Munakata deflects him because it's
with
anime.
A sword.
A sword. And then Munakata slices his hand down. Someone's hand gets cut in half. There's a lot of blood. It's red. It's not pink.
Yeah, I noticed that. That was interesting.
It was cool that the future arc stuff is all red, yeah.
I thought it was... I kind of assumed Tengen was... before I knew any of it, I thought Tengen was going to be like a failed Izuru Kamakura experiment, like a prototype, essentially.
No, he was just the dude that said, maybe you shouldn't do this.
He pulled a gun out of his hand, and I was like, oh, he's
ultimate.
He's been worked on a bit. He's had some work done.
Yeah, and then, spoiler alert, he ended up being the mastermind, I think?
Yes.
I'm still not entirely clear. I've watched it like 5 times. I still don't get it, which is why it's bad. But then he dies. He says something about who the mastermind is to this guy, Munakata, and then he dies because
but he had to tell the truth.
Him through the face. Yeah.
And Munakata asked him a specific question.
Yeah, he said, who's the killer? And then later we find out that he said, we're all the killer. Every one of us is the one doing it. Because that's not a lie, but it's also not the truth. Some other point, these kids are fighting because they're kids and they just hate each other for no reason.
Yeah, they had drama where she
had drama, but it was one-sided drama. She said, I will die if I eat your candy. And she said, you hate me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had drama, and then none of them died specifically. She ended up dying from the time limit. She jammed herself against the wall a bunch of times.
I don't remember that.
They go to sleepy sleep, and then she stabs herself through the wall. Yeah, Danny really hasn't watched this in a while. And then she eventually is also killed by the time limit. She, just macerates herself. It's pretty lit. It's pretty insane. She kills Candy Boy because they kiss and then she puts candy in his mouth.
Yeah, which, to be fair, he did not need to eat it.
It was put food in your mouth. It wasn't eat. It was put food in your mouth. That was his forbidden action.
All right.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Because rip to him, but I would have just spat on her.
Rip to him, but I'm different. Eventually, the robot gets cut in half, so she's gone out of the playing field.
Revealed to be a robot.
Yeah, who else is still alive at this point?
Him. He died saving Kyoko.
He died saving Kyoko because he opened his left hand. Because he told her dad that he would protect her with his life.
Yeah.
Because they were friends, and they probably kissed in their meantime. This is Boxer Man. Eventually, Munakata comes up on Boxer Man and stabs him because he's like, you're all the traitor, and you all hate me, and it's the worst. So he stabs him, and this guy's like, heck, man, because he is gay, for real.
He is stabbed
He is gay for, real dog.
Yeah.
And then, but because he's stabbed with a sword that can light itself, it can heat itself.
Who was Munakata? Munakata was with the teacher, with Chisa.
Yes.
Okay. And
that was his lady friend, and they want you to think that Boxer's in love with Chisa the whole time.
Yeah, and then there's that, one flashback
just like me for real, he's super gay. I'm not gay. But yeah, so then he is super gay for Munakata, literally, and then he's sad because Munakata stabs him, and then he eventually turns off all the power. Animator guy says, cool, the power's off. Now I'm going to hypnotize everyone and go play my video of hope to the entire world, and I'll broadcast it everywhere to everyone. And they'll all get hope.
Not to jump straight to the end. I'd be fine with that. I don't see how that's a big problem.
There's an idea in our religion about opposites, that you need opposition in all things, Daniel.
Okay, but if everyone's happy...
still exists.
If everyone's happy, literally nobody would have a problem with it.
But is everyone happy because they're happy, or are they happy because they're mindless drones that can't think for themselves?
Who cares?
If
that's literally
fair.
No one is suffering, what's the problem?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, the only things that are notable in the Despair arc is Chiaki's alive and real.
Yes.
She's not a program.
Which I kind of was taken aback by.
Yeah, it's kind of a retcon, because they were pretty explicit in Danganronpa 2 that she's just a thing that they made up. But then in the anime, they're like, no, she was a real girl, and they all liked her so much.
And then she died for real.
The imposter was being the animator guy, not Byakuya. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
It's pretty great.
Locked in
There's some weird sexual tension with him and Mikon a lot.
Yeah.
Because Mikon is just Mikon.
Yeah, I like Mikon.
The beginning is just slice of life. They're all friends. Yeah, anything to add from your notes? What did you write? Oh, no.
I don't know. I wrote these in order of the episodes. I have no idea where.
Yeah, just anything notable.
Nothing is notable anymore.
Let me look at yours. I'll interpret them better.
One of the very first things I wrote down, I'm assuming this is referring to Tengen. Yeah. It says, play the clip. If you can find it.
Okay, I'll see if I can find it.
Play the clip of the old guy saying, this is bad, when the building is under attack, because he says Bazinga.
In Japanese?
Yeah. You go, Bazinga.
I don't know if I can find that, but if I can, I will.
That was the greatest.
Yeah. You missed the opening. I will say, you did miss because the way that you were watching it was a sketchy website.
It automatically skipped
You didn't want to click anything.
Intros.
The intros are so good. Like, the intro song is so lit, and it's so cool. And I'm gonna make you watch it, even though you probably don't care about anime intros as much as I do, but it's a lit song.
Is fair. When Hina turned out to not be dead, I thought they were actually going to say that her boobs just kind of protected her, and the knife didn't get to her heart or something.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
And this was episode 5, around the time I was like, are we just don't know why his head is a bull? Or is no one going to tell me?
He's just a wrestler. That's it. That's all it is to it.
Are there names, like, puns or wordplay or anything that you know of? Or am I just racist? Because I associate Japanese sounds together.
Like what?
Like, I thought, like Munakata, and he's running around with a katana the whole time. I was like,
oh.
Is that like an anagram?
No, I think that's just a coincidence.
Yeah. That's it.
That's fair. Okay. I'm trying to think what else. Despair arc, they're all friends. They all eat horny soup at one point. Yeah, Chiaki's like super cool and popular and everyone loves her.
Yes.
They play video games.
Because who wouldn't?
They play Smash Brothers. Gundam has just a bunch of animals.
Their fighting game was really, really cute. I remember that.
A fun fact about the dub. In the dub, they never call him Gundam. He always calls himself Tanaka the Forbidden One. Possibly because Gundam might be copyrighted, because Gundam is literally an anime series in Japan. I'm not sure. He does say Gundam towards the end, but I don't know. Yeah, and then they skip a year, and Junko and Mukuro come to school. How'd you feel about Mukuro in this anime?
She was weirdly, like, submissive.
She was horny. She's super horny for her sister. It's terrible.
She is, but she's also just weirdly, like, quiet and reserved. Yeah. And I understand you're supposed to be a good little soldier and be like that, but...
No, it's not at all what they were painting her as in the first game.
Well, they didn't really paint her as anything. They just said ultimate soldier.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
all you meet her in the game, technically.
Yeah, but she's doing an act. I don't know what she's like.
Yeah, and their decision was incestually horny.
Yeah.
Which is a bad decision, if you ask me. I'm just going to say this right now. Someone on the Danganronpa team has a weird brother-sister thing going on. Okay. And I'm going to leave it at that
Is that going to come up more in V3?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, anyways, so yeah, that happens. They come to the school, they first get Mikon, they take this animator boy and they make him animate his brainwash anime because he loves anime.
Which, if I were him, I simply would have just done a brainwash anime to brainwash Junko to not kidnap me anymore, but, you know.
There's a brief point where Junko starts analyzing and her eyes go all weird. That's a reference to Danganronpa Zero that we're not going to read and I don't care about.
Okay.
She's technically not the ultimate fashionista, she's the ultimate analyst or something stupid, I don't know. Yeah, so that happens. He becomes brainwashed. Mikon becomes brainwashed. They brainwash the teacher, and then eventually they trap Chiaki in a kill. Well, first they have the killing game. Did you remember? Yeah. Did you catch on that was the classroom from the first game? So in the first game, at the very end, you come across a classroom where a bunch of dead bodies were.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be that class. It's a very violent scene. It was censored on the one we watched.
Oh.
They had black blurs over all the violence.
Did they?
Yeah. I think so. I don't know.
I don't know if I remember that.
They all were violent or whatever, and then
but it was just nameless.
Yeah, correct.
Students.
Then they frame Izuru Kamakura for the murder of the student council.
They frame him to the world?
Yeah, they say, look, he murdered all these student councils. They've been doing human experiments, and he murdered all these kids, and whoa, that's wild.
Oh, yeah, and then all the parents are like, I don't want my kid.
Well, and then all the kids from the reserve department are like, boo, you're using my money for human experimentation.
Yeah,
just get over it, guys.
Like, storm the talent kid the homes. Or
then there's a riot. Chiaki is sent through a very grueling punishment.
Like a labyrinth
game where she dies in a terrible way, and I weeped the first time because I was a weeb. The second time, or the fifth time I watched it, I'm like,
I like Chiaki, but it was a cool way to kill someone.
Yeah,
I gotta give them credit.
That's fair.
They're good at what they do.
The whole Danganronpa 2 cast watches it, and they're all brainwashed, and now they're all ultimate despair.
Yes,
and that's it, really. And then they have the help ending at the end. Hajime has saved everyone, and they all come back, and then bada bing, bada boom, the happy ending, whatever. So, You don't remember most of that, and that's okay, because most of it doesn't matter, to be honest with you.
Most of the stuff I wrote down is not relevant to, like, big plot points or anything.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to talk about the main things that are very wrong with the anime. The main problems that people have, right? So that's the basic gist of it.
At some point in 19, Makoto or somebody says, everyone is despair, so I just put, is that a Smash Ultimate reference? But I also was genuinely like, I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, no, that's
I've kind of lost.
That's the thing, right?
I lost the ability to follow this.
So the first thing people hate about this anime, number one, is that the Danganronpa 2 cast, at the end of the game Danganronpa 2, you find out they're all ultimate despair, and you go, oh, wild. And you're like, that's crazy. Junko, like, manipulated them all while they were at school and, like, used their insecurities to, like, make them evil.
Yeah.
And then in the end, it's a stupid anime.
Yeah.
It's a dumb anime that brainwashed them.
A little bit.
That's dumb. I didn't like that. Because I thought the despair arc was going to be her convincing them all to come to her side.
Yeah.
But no, it was just one stupid anime, and that was it.
Yeah, I did get excited to watch Chisa try to kill Chiaki because she started, like, being all buddy-buddy after she had been despaired or something. Yeah. So I was like, oh. That's when I was like, oh, that's why Chiaki was the one they picked for the AI.
And they do say that
because everybody loves her. And
yeah, they say that at the end, that like, oh, it was actually, they pulled from your brain the perfect image of someone, and this is who you all had in your brain, or whatever.
I thought for a little while there was going to be, like the trope where you don't know who has been brainwashed within the class. I thought they were going to, like, do it individually.
That'd have been
Because there were moments when, like, Nekomaru and somebody else went off on their own for a while, and then they came back, and I was like, oh, maybe there's, like, 4 of them
and then
now.
Peko went and fought Mukuro at one point, and then Nagito had a gun again.
That was, like, the funniest.
It's so funny.
So
it's a funny frame.
When Nagito pulled out the gun,
yes,
I said, this might be the best moment in the anime.
Correct.
Then he got shot, and I said, wait.
Yeah, that's correct.
This is the best moment.
Yeah, no, him getting shot is very funny. It's funny, too, because Izuru Kamakura is like, oh, you have luck? Cool, so do I, bro. And then Nagito's gun, like, jams, and then he flicks it out of his hand, and he shoots Nagito, but then Nagito's handbook was there, so it protected him. It's just a luck battle.
Yeah, which I would
Correct, that is the single funniest moment from the anime.
I would not complain about having more luck battle, like a whole episode where they're just like a Dragon Ball fight between them. Where
that's fair.
Just keep going, and more and more stuff just keeps happening.
So that's number one. That's number one, the thing that everybody hates about the anime. Number two is the mastermind of the future arc killing game. Because I think, and someone in the comments can explain it if you care, I think it's supposed to be Tengen. I think it's supposed to be that Chisa was was brainwashed the whole time. She says, hi, here's this video I found. Tengen watches it, and then he goes, you know what I need to do? I need to eliminate all despair. But it's like a Nagito kind of despair, where he's like, I'm going to force everyone to do this thing.
Yeah.
And so then he makes this whole killing game to get Mitarai to play his Hope video. But what I'm unclear on is if Tengen was actually despair brainwashed, or if he just thought that was the right thing to do.
I couldn't tell.
And I don't care. I've watched it 5 times. I don't get it, and I don't care because it's stupid either way. And that's really it.
Okay. At one point in episode, like, 21, one of the last ones in the future arc, I remember thinking, everybody having committed suicide is a great twist that I wanted for more of the game. Yeah. Like, when Sakura did it, it wasn't as much of a twist, because she kind of said beforehand that that's what she was going to do. But when it was revealed, I was like, oh, a bunch of people have been doing it. I kind of wanted... I wanted the puzzle of being like, how could somebody have done this? And it ended up being themselves a little more throughout the games. If that makes sense.
Like, in the actual video games?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
I wanted to see somebody have, a bunch of stuff where people are like, oh, none of these clues fit together. And they go, wait a minute.
They tried to with Nagito.
Do that.
He went as far as he could without killing himself, and then made someone throw poison.
Yeah.
But, like, fair. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You want it to be more like they're trying to frame someone, even though they didn't.
And I still... You know what? Never mind. I was going to say, I still stand by that he would have bled out, before the poison
circulated enough, he's magic.
Then I forgot that he was in a video game.
That's true too.
So they could have just like unplugged him.
Video game time. So that's the next thing people hate.
It wasn't a poison. It was a crash code.
I made Daniel watch the Nagito Komaeda OVA 2.5. The weird thing
the
where
simulation one?
The simulation one. I made him watch that before the last episode of the anime. I think it's a better place to watch it because you start watching it and suddenly Soda and Nagito and Fuyuhiko are like all friends and like cool and not
Soda
weird.
Was like getting a date,
and he's like getting a date with Sonya, and she's like into him, and then he just dies off screen.
It was sad, but the reveal was amazing.
It's so funny. They just cut to his dead, like his funeral. And then they're like, I'm gonna go get revenge. And then, like, Sonya gears up, and, like...
Yeah, and then she doesn't
And then she dies,
well.
and then Fuyuhiko dies, and then Peko dies, and then Nagito shows up, and then Hajime throws finger guns at him, and it's so weird. And then it's all revealed that that's him getting them out of their dead place from the simulation.
What do you mean?
So, like, at the end of the episode, he pulls Nagito out of the simulation and says, welcome back to the real world, right?
Yeah.
That's what that whole episode is. It's trying to say, here's how Hajime, or Izuru, or whoever you want to call him, got them alive again, because they were brain dead at the end of Danganronpa 2.
Oh. So, he just made their world crash around them.
I don't know.
Deconstructed their simulation.
He says something like that in there.
I don't remember.
A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people think it ruins the ending of Danganronpa 2. A lot of people say, well, all these people died, and I cared so much about them, and now they're all just alive again with no, like, questions asked.
Hey, you know what?
I have no problem with it. I like that crew.
Maybe they'll get to die again.
I like that crew, and I also think that more people... I think that if any character in this ridiculous universe was going to save brain-dead people, it would be Izuru Kamakura.
Yeah.
So, like, I have no problem with that one at all. The one I do have a problem with is the other plot point where Kyoko comes back from the dead.
How did she die? She was...
So let me try to explain this as best as I can. Kyoko's forbidden action was make it through four sleepy times with Makoto alive.
So
fourth sleepy time, she dies.
Poisoned.
They all cry. I cried. It was sad. We loved it. She sacrifices herself for Makoto, which she never did in Danganronpa 1.
She tried to sacrifice Makoto for
exactly,
herself
right? It's a character growth thing, right? They're so in love, and it's great. I think it is canonical that they get together at the end. Anyways, yeah, so, like, she dies from that. And then at the end, she just walks out fine. And Mikon says something about, at one point, Kimura made a medicine that you could drink. The pharmacist girl made a medicine that you could take before your forbidden action goes off, and then it would keep you basically in a coma, and then someone could revive you if they were a medical professional, and I'm Mikon, so I can.
Okay.
And that's stupid. That's just a dumb plot point.
Yes. I don't remember her coming back.
She does. She comes back from the dead. And in the anime dub, we're not going to put this in the episode, but I'm going to show him how terrible the dub is.
Okay.
At the end of the dub, the actors were just messing around, and at one point, Kyoko's actor... like, they give her the final line, and she literally said, like, as a blooper, like, I thought I was supposed to be dead right now. And they accidentally published that as the final episode.
That's incredible.
And they had to go back and change it. Yeah. So it's a whole meme. I think that it ruined her character arc. I think that her character arc ended very beautifully with her dying, and while it's sad for Makoto to have no one, I thought it was meaningful. And then
being sad for Makoto was kind of funny, though. It was
just a little boy.
It was kind of funny for the first game.
Yeah, so, like, I don't like that she came back to life and that it was just kind of hand-waved, but it's anime, it's magic, whatever.
Yeah.
The last point that people hate is that Makoto learns nothing.
Oh, no, I did say it's great Kyoko's back, but it's been a long time. Her body's going to be very messed up. Like, she's going to have, like, a lot of undiscovered forms of brain damage from not having oxygen.
Yeah, but consider anime.
Okay.
That's it. That's the answer to everything in this.
It's silly. So I think my favorite part of the anime, just to diverge from
no, for sure. I'm just on
the plot. I can't tell where it was. At some point, they have a montage of the class, the despairing class, killing a bunch of people.
Yeah, being
despairing the world.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. I loved that because they used their talents and stuff. I had to pause and stop laughing because Ibuki manages to do it from a stage
Yeah.
to a whole crowd, which means while everybody else was out killing,
Yeah.
she was setting up a sound system.
Yes,
she like built a stage, and in the midst of this like world level tragedy, people said, "I just really need a concert.
I really need a concert from this girl who was a pop star." Like,
so it was killing me that people were just that she just like blows out of the speakers. I'm like, where? Like she had to call people to deliver those.
Yeah. No, the thing that always makes me Soda could have set them up.
Maybe, yeah.
Did I tell you in Danganronpa 2, a lot of people think Soda did the execution machines for Junko?
Oh, that'd be cute.
Yeah, it'd be cute. It doesn't actually matter because it's all just made up as they go.
No, but that'd be really cute. You know.
No, my favorite thing is...
being made up as you go doesn't mean it's bad.
My favorite thing in the final fight is how they all come back to save the day. The whole Danganronpa 2 cast, they ride their boat or whatever. They come back, they save the day. And, like, they're having this battle, you know. Teruteru's feeding Akane, like, food to fuel her while they're fighting. And, you know, I don't know, Fuyuhiko and Peko are fighting because they're gangsters or whatever. And then just, like, Ibuki's playing music, and and the one dude puts his headphones on because he's like, I'm not going to fall for this trick. And then Mahiru comes out and takes a picture of him, and he goes, flash! And she takes the headphones off. And then the other point is that Hiyoko does nothing. She does nothing in that final fight.
That's amazing.
Because she's a dancer!
Yeah.
She's a little dancer girl. She's not little anymore, but...
That's like one of the easiest tropes in combat-centric media to translate. Dancers always are able to just dodge everything with their graceful movements. Like, just have her dance around and open up opportunities for other people, and
or use a fan and like get their swords or something.
Yeah, do a Mortal Kombat. Fans have blades on them. There you go.
So the cast is useless, and I love that. There's a ton of references to the other games too, if you care about that. But no, so like at the end, right? Word gets out that this whole Future Foundation killing game is happening. There's also one random episode that covers Ultra Despair Girls just to be like, by the way, this happens.
Nice.
They say, Monica, who's doing this? And then she says, I'll tell you, and then she farts.
She goes to space. Where did I put that?
Monica's great. In the anime, she's great. I love her.
Oh, hold on, where did I put that?
Yeah, it's like episode 13, 14, somewhere around there.
Okay, thank you. Episode 12, the first thing I wrote is, everyone hates Nagito. I'm glad it's a natural reaction.
Yeah.
There are also a couple instances where I couldn't tell who was who, because I just wasn't familiar enough with their designs yet.
Yeah.
So I was really confused for a lot of it, because I'd be like, why is she doing this? Like, oh, she's not. It's someone else.
Yeah. We also totally skipped over the whole Twilight Syndrome murder case incident. Where, like, Mahiru's friend is killed, and then...
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Nagito boring Monica into quitting is the most believable part of the series.
Yes. She literally says, that guy was gross, I didn't like him.
The age-old fart-in-your-face fly to space maneuver. Classic Monica.
It was great, yeah.
Apparently, the only thing I wrote down for episode 14 was, of all the butts I'd like to see, Nagito was not high on the list.
Oh yeah, you get a full shower shot of him.
Butt of Nagito.
He's showering in an island paradise where his plane crashed. It's amazing. You get Nagito butt. You don't want that. But the Danganronpa fandom, did they want that.
Apparently in episode 15, Kyoko did something that made Chiaki eating glue not seem very gross anymore.
Yeah, she tasted...
was it blood?
No, so the blacksmith guy is dead. Mm-hmm. And... his girlfriend killed her, right? And she's trying to make it look like he killed himself from the video, so she puts a knife through him. Kyoko's doing her detective work, and she goes, that's not a knife wound. And then she tastes his saliva and says, oh yeah, he had some candy in his mouth. Because that's just what Kyoko does, you know?
That doesn't even tell you he had candy!
She tasted something sweet in his saliva.
But that could be so many things.
Yeah, it could be. But Kyoko's a detective, Daniel.
Your saliva will literally break down salad into sugars.
But Kyoko's a detective, Daniel. Did you figure out anyone's forbidden actions? Did you try to, like, solve them?
I did. I don't think I wrote it down. I remember thinking that. I was like, I should have written that down at some point.
Was it the door one? A lot of people solved the door one.
I did figure the door one. That one was kind of... I thought it was...
Because he just shatters a window right next to a door at one point. Yeah. I didn't get that, but... I'm trying to think, I don't remember if I remembered any of them.
I thought somebody was, you weren't allowed to help anyone else. It wasn't. Yeah. I don't even remember who I thought that about.
When this was coming out, the fandom had a lot of theories. One of them was that Kyoko wasn't allowed to talk. Because until the forbidden actions were revealed... Or no, a lot of people thought she couldn't reveal her forbidden action. And then that was her forbidden action.
Episode 16, Nagito gets shot.
Yes.
And they have a little luck battle.
Yeah.
Between Izuru and Nagito.
Yeah.
Which means it can be surgically implanted.
Yeah.
The luck.
Sure.
Which means it's probably a genetic thing.
Sure.
It's probably in his DNA.
Oh, yeah.
So Kamaru definitely has it.
Oh, okay, cool. Never forget that Izuru Kamakura is canonically the ultimate princess. Anyways.
There was something else about him I didn't... There was like a... I don't want to call it a plot hole. It seemed like a plot hole to me.
Yeah. It could be a plot hole. This anime's a mess. Oh, no.
Episode 21.
Yeah.
It's like the climax of the future arc, apparently. Somebody picks up a phone.
Yes.
I think it's Meteorai's phone.
Yeah.
And it says, you have a message from Tengen.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be really funny to be like, you have 10 minutes to send this to 20 people. And if you don't, Bloody Mary's gonna come get you tonight.
Oh, no.
If you don't, the world is gonna fall to despair.
Not the meteors. Oh, no.
Would have been good. No, where is it? So, Hajime Kamakura, in the little extra episode, decided to go into the restoration program of his own accord, simply to find out what he couldn't predict. I think he said that.
Yes.
That's what I wrote down. But he wasn't himself, because his brain was back in Hajime.
Yeah.
So he didn't know... He shouldn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, he didn't know, yeah.
But also, if he's the ultimate, he should have been able to know what he can't predict anyways.
I know. No, it is a whole mess. Because Izuru is never explicitly bad. He's never evil. He's never, like, full-on despair. He just cares about which one he can't predict, because he's so smart that he can predict everything, right?
Yeah.
And so his whole thing, in the dub, and we'll get there, but in the dub, he talks about memes a couple times. And how memes can influence people.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's that. But yeah, no, his whole thing is he wants to see what he can't predict, right? So he watches Chiaki die, and suddenly he's crying, and he's like, why am I crying? What is emotion? How do I feel this? And that's why he decides to go in to see if hope or despair will win. And then I guess hope technically wins.
Apparently. I said, I'm kind of with the idea of eliminating every negative emotion. It seems like the human experience would be pretty cool like that. Followed by, apparently, Meteorai explains this.
Yeah.
And Makoto and Hina just listen.
Yeah.
So they miss yet another opportunity to just tackle him.
Oh, yeah, no, for
He's
sure.
even smaller than Makoto.
For sure.
They could have just
No, there's dozens
enough.
of times they could have gotten rid of him. I like Byakuya having his own task force, because at the end, Meteorai, like, brainwashes all the soldiers and says, stop anyone who's trying to stop me, right? And then Byakuya's like, I got my own soldiers, I'm good.
And then, so the world does get brainwashed, right? They do send out the video to make everyone full
They
of
have
hope.
to, yeah, and then there's a timer.
Of course.
Yeah.
But if the only way to undo it would be to use Meteorai to make another video, couldn't he just not do it?
So, I think...
Like, just say no, refuse to work, and continue to live in a world where people are literally just super happy
So here's
all
the problem,
time.
right? Here's the problem, is that they don't explain it well, because there's a 30-minute timer, but the video's already going, right? Mm-hmm. I think what they were going for is that they have to watch this video for 30 minutes to eliminate hope, or despair, or whatever. And because they stopped it right before the 30 minutes, it didn't do it. So it reset. Which is very stupid and dumb.
Yes.
People hate the ending of this anime.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm in the minority with it, but I feel like the world could use a break to just chill for a bit.
Oh, the Danganronpa world is screwed up. And that leads me to my last point. The thing that people hate about this. Makoto learns absolutely nothing through this whole experience. Because what does Makoto do right at the end of the anime? This whole story happens. Hope's Peak was a corrupt school that was emphasizing talent too much, and it was, human experimenting on children, and this led to the Despairs, which led to the Future Foundation dying, which led to Makoto, and blah, blah, blah. And then Makoto says, you know what I gotta do? I gotta rebuild Hope's Peak Academy. I gotta be the headmaster of this school. I gotta start this all over again. So he's an idiot, and he learns nothing. But he's our little hope boy, so we love him.
He's a little hope boy.
He's a little hope boy.
He's a little hope boy.
Yeah, so that's the anime. It's really bad, but it's also really good. I think the Future arc had potential to be a really, really cool story. I love mysteries. I love not knowing, like, having to piece together mysteries. I had this whole crackpot theory when I was watching it that Chisa never actually died and that she was running things behind the scene, and it was a whole thing. And then it ended up being brainwashing anime, and I said, oh, this is bad.
Something I wish they'd done was, in the midst of showing how the class turned to Despairs and then killed everyone and did everything, I wish they kind of showed us how maybe this is just my personal gross taste, but I kind of wish they showed us how they disfigured Junko to try and keep her living on in themselves.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because we saw Nagito had like a robot hand. It was like half Junko, but it was like
at the end. Yeah, he replaced his Junko hand with a robot hand.
I want to see what they did.
Well, it's implied because at one point in the
first game,
in the last trial of Danganronpa 2, they say that someone put Junko's eye in their socket.
Yeah.
Nagito, or Fuyuhiko is still wearing an eye patch after the simulation. He lost his eye in the simulation, not in real life.
All right,
but then he comes out still wearing an eye patch.
A good justification
it's for why
why they didn't want to draw a new spray.
Yeah, it's implying that. The translation, this has been disputed, and I don't actually know.
The one
they
said they took out her womb.
It might be that. It might be that they just wanted to try to have her baby. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, I don't need to see that one.
I think that would be a good way to show despair.
That's fair. That's fair. Did you like the episode where they all drank horny soup?
No.
And then Nagito was like, oh, hope feels so good.
He was just
Nagito is canonically hope sexual, and we love that for him.
I don't remember where it was, but at some point, Teru, something about Sayaka is brought up. Or
yeah,
he sees her. He responds exactly how you did.
Yes, correct, 100%. No, I've realized watching the Pokemon anime, because I'm watching through the original Pokemon anime, I've realized I am Brock. Every time Brock goes, oh, she's a cute girl, I go, come on, Brock. And then I go, no, that's me, I know.
I need to be your Krogunk. Poison jab you every time. Does
it really take until Krogunk for someone to stop him from doing that?
I just know that's a trope.
That's 4 generations in.
Krogunk will just smack him and poison him.
Oh no. Anyways,
beat out before me.
Yeah. So overall, I think the anime had some potential. I think the Despair arc is kind of silly, goofy, slice of life anime. I would have loved to just see that without sadness. And the Future arc is really cool, and there's some cool mysteries, and I think it was all thrown away at the end. But ultimately, I still like the anime. Most people don't.
I like the episode with the giant dog.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. There's an episode where Gundam just has a bear.
I love that Gundam. I love that Gundam has a bunch of animals.
Yeah.
And I love that he just has magic powers.
Yeah, no, they're all just magic, yeah.
Nobody questions it.
Correct, yeah.
Nobody thinks twice, nobody cares.
Did you like when she was collecting them all at the beginning? She's trying to get all the students to come back, and they all are like...
What does she do for him?
For Gundam... I think she just comes and he's at like the top of a temple and he's like, I am the Forbidden One or whatever. No, did you like that Nekomaru was just taking a dump?
Yeah, I thought that was a perfect
And they all just walk in and go, dump time.
It was awesome.
No, one of my favorite things, they do give Mahiru a little bit more character in the anime. You don't catch it as much if you're doing subs because you have to read all of it really quickly. But in the dub, Mahiru is always the one going, hey, that's weird. Like, during the whole bear thing, like 4 times during that scene, she's like, why is there a bear in the classroom? And it's pretty funny.
I need to... Yeah.
Yeah.
What else was it? I really wanted Makoto to have been going through his own despair arc in the future arc. I wanted him to be despaired because Mikon did it, and it was really cool. It was a cute little reveal. If Makoto did it, it would have been like a bombshell.
Yeah.
And it would have been a great twist.
Yeah, well, and they could have, because at this point, the future arc,
there was done whatever they wanted.
Yeah, that's the thing that I remembered early on in the future arc. I was like, oh, anyone could die. And then no one did. But anyone could have. Yeah. Like any of the main cast could have.
We thought Hina did. We thought Kyoko did. I kind of thought Byakuya did for some
reason.
Makoto
almost did. He watched the Desperta video, and then Sayaka was like, hey, you should come kill yourself.
Yeah, he was going to.
I like that scene. It's really dark.
Yeah.
Did you like the scene? He's like revisited the trauma of Danganronpa 1, and like Sayaka and Kyoko are like, you should have died, not us, blah, blah, blah. And then it shows all of his friends dead, too. And it's like, disturbing, like, Chihiro's hanging there, and Hifumi's got blood on his head, and then there's just a puddle of butter with Mondo. Because Mondo is canonically butter, and we love that.
I love that that's what happened to him. I don't love that it was the second chapter.
Yeah, I wish it feels more like akin to V3 type stuff.
I think the first game did a poor job of introducing Danganronpa.
That's fair. It is weird to go back and be like, this is not
where they made
vibes.
Chapter 1 super easy.
Yeah.
They made Chapter 2 just so obscure and...
also problematic
and off the wall with the execution. And then Chapter 3, they had a huge twist where it was Oh, no, Chapter 3 wasn't the twist. Chapter 3, they did fine, I think.
You predicted the entire thing.
I figured out
You figured out the entire thing because you thought.
Little did I know that Celeste breaking character was going to be such a huge foreshadow to every subsequent trial ever.
Yeah, it doesn't get better, I'll tell you that much.
I'm sure it doesn't.
Some of these trials are fine in V3. Some of them are fine.
That is fair.
Some of them are not. Some of them are the same.
Do we see Junior Byakuya's? Does he have kids?
So Toko has a fantasy during their episode.
Okay.
And in their episode, she's like all, sexy glammed up, red dress, whatever. And Byakuya comes in on a car like a 90s anime.
I want more Junior Byakuya.
And then they say, here's our 27 children, and it's all little Byakuyas.
I hope they're in V3.
It's great.
Oh, man. Yeah, I also like that the brainwashing anime was framed as a Monokuma theater.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
I get it. I get why watching that for 30 minutes would drive you insane. I don't like that my daughter got curvier and she started middle school.
Sometimes I think about dying. Do you ever think about dying? I'm gonna kill your mom.
And then you're just like, I gotta kill people.
Like, I gotta die. I gotta die right now.
I need to do something.
Yeah, I know, that was cute. Well, and like,
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Any other random thoughts?
A lot, but none of them make sense without knowing what the...
Hit me with one that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, give me a second.
Okay.
I like that Chiaki had a Nintendo Game Boy.
Yeah.
That was cute. The Smash was really cute.
I think it was a Nintendo Game Girl. Thank you very much.
Oh, you know what? Episode 4 is the horny one, because that's when I said, Matt, why did you make me watch this?
No, I was rewatching it, and I went, oh, why did I make him watch this?
Nagito talking about hope was the least weird thing going on.
Yeah, for real.
I got too excited to actually spell it right.
Oh, no.
So I need you to just see. Somebody said at the beginning of the Twilight,
Hajime going to be a vampire.
Because I couldn't. The Hajime's going to be a vampire.
Yeah, because it said the beginning of the Twilight, which is the Twilight Syndrome murder case, which was your favorite trial in Danganronpa 2.
Oh, it was.
It was not. 3 was the one you hated the most. I think.
I hated
No, it was 2.
I hated a lot of it.
Yeah, and I don't think.
I wasn't vibing with it for a while.
And you might not vibe with this one. And
I'm gonna vibe with this one more. I get it more.
Try. Okay.
I get it better.
Yeah. So if you didn't know, my goal is that this episode airs as like a podcasty episode, and then the next episode will be Danganronpa V3.
Okay.
So in either 2 or 3 days or 4 days or whatever.
By the time episode 11 hit, I was afraid Hiro was gonna be the hero of the series. Which the biggest unanswered question in Danganronpa is how he got in still.
Yeah, no.
His talent doesn't work.
It works 30% of the time, which for a psychic is pretty dang good, Daniel.
When Kyoko was dead, I thought Makoto was done ever doing anything ever again.
Yeah,
because
and then he just picked up.
He can't do anything without Kyoko.
That's true.
In the first game.
What I liked about this anime, this is kind of my wrapped up thoughts, but you can keep sharing things. What I like about this anime is that they frame it as Makoto is the hero of Danganronpa. And then at the end of the anime, you go, he is just a side character.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
Like, which he was in his own game, too. Byakuya thought he was the main character. But, like, Hajime is the main character of the Danganronpa story. Okay. It all centers around Hajime.
Okay.
And Makoto's just kind of there. Like, literally, at the end, Hajime goes to Midori and is like, hey, don't play this video. You can come join us, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah, he just showed up.
And then Makoto just listens in the background and goes, nah, he's got it.
Yeah,
he's good.
They build up to this whole climax with Makoto and Hina freaking out, and everybody's trying to get Makoto there, and then Hajime just comes in to Deus Ex it.
And I kind of love that, because Makoto's whole role is just to be a figurehead. He doesn't actually do anything. He just inspires people. Yeah. And so you can kind of be like, yeah, he's good. He doesn't have to.
Makoto had a dream where Kyoko died.
Was dead, yes.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
When I said, oh, Makoto can't do anything now. Even immediately followed by, okay, part of me did think it was a dream, but it seemed too basic of a trope to use. Plus, the plot progression music was playing, and they already did the fake death scare literally once, the last time. And they did it another time. Like, come on.
No. Something that people like is, because the whole plot is that you die when you're the closest to the monitor. You fall asleep, whoever is closest to a monitor is woken up, and they kill themselves. Even in that dream, Kyoko is the one closest to the monitor. It's very consistent. They always show you a shot of them sitting the closest.
Yeah. Something out of context, I said episode 16 had the best start to an episode yet.
So that'd be a Despair arc
episode. 8th episode of the of the school.
Yeah, I got no idea.
Yeah, so something about that I really liked. Apparently.
Yeah, was it Junko in the airport going, I'm narrating?
I have no idea.
Anyways.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Something happened. Episode 18. So I'm curious what exactly Monica's deal is. If she's really not that involved, I feel like the only other groups would be Future Foundation, maybe Remnant of Hope's Peak, or just Hajime, because apparently she was like, I'm not doing it, or something. Yeah. And I was like, either which could be staging this as a stunt or something. Anything goes. The fact that Byakuya didn't see a broadcast stuck with me more than I should think.
Yeah, because they said this is being broadcast to the whole Future Foundation.
And at some point, I don't know if it was that. Maybe it was, yeah.
And
Byakuya was like, I'm not getting anything. So part of me was like, for a long time, I was like, maybe Byakuya's the new villain of the anime. Maybe he's behind it. Because he's not... He's like, oh, I'm going to send help, trust me.
Yeah, and the anime definitely makes you think weird things. If that sounds like a weird theory and you haven't watched the anime, it makes you go weird places.
I was half expecting the troops to show up and just kill everyone in the Future Foundation. Oh, I guess they did do that after they got in they were like soldiers. No, they got despaired is what happened.
Yeah. Well, they got brainwashed,
And then swordsman fought through a bunch of guys with guns.
Yeah.
In the anime way where he didn't even bother deflecting it. He just they just missed.
At one point, Munakata's double wielding. It's pretty sick. Oh, the other thing people hate. The whole tragedy happened because someone was too afraid to say he was gay.
Yes! Oh my gosh! Yeah.
I forgot about that. Boxer Man said no homo so hard that the entire world fell into despair.
Yes, and Junko was like bullying him about it.
Yeah. Junko is a bigot. No, Junko literally said, "I will tell your friend that you're gay if you tell him I'm the mastermind." And Juzo's like, "I know she could kill the whole world, but I just can't have him know I'm gay."
Yeah,
that's a terrible plot point.
It would have been, you know,
the entire tragedy happened. The entire tragedy happened because Mitarai loved anime and because Juzo was gay. And that's it. That's the whole tragedy. Summed up right there.
Yeah. Which, you know, they didn't strike me as very important characters until then.
Yeah, they're not. That's the cool thing.
I just didn't realize they were going to play such a big part.
Yeah.
Okay, at some point, Makoto definitely ran in the halls. I don't know when. He absolutely... Even if it's just for a few steps.
Yeah. The classroom and the hallways were very unclear. If I was Makoto, I would not be taking my chances.
I would be on all fours, like, the whole time.
Yeah, I did like Kyo. I did like when Hino would carry him.
Yeah, that was cute.
That was great.
Funny.
But yeah, no.
I understand Sakakura's forbidden love is painful and heartbreaking, but it's so funny to imagine Junko being able to beat him to the ground because she just keeps calling him gay.
Well, and literally, then he's stuck on the ground, and they've got, like, whatever pointed at him. And then she literally says, "Oh, you're a little gay boy, aren't you?" And all the, like, faceless students go, "Oh, gay boy." I mean, it's Japan, so it's a little bit of a different culture.
14-year-olds just going, man. Oh, caught in 4K.
This is the same anime that had Mikon going horny over anyone and anything. So it's not like it's a conservative thing. It really is just you're gay and now the tragedy.
Yeah.
Bad plot points.
That's apparently at some point in... I wrote a lot. Episode 20.
Yeah.
Somebody dies. I thought it was... Somebody died. I don't know who or how, but apparently I thought it was a nice reference to how Junko first killed her sister.
Mukuro.
Mukuro.
Yeah, it's Chiaki. She gets impaled by a bunch of spikes.
My brain was saying Misaru, and I was like,
Misaru, that's my favorite sushi. I don't know what it is.
No, but yeah, so Chiaki's death being referenced.
Yeah. There's a lot of those references, like the Smash Brothers game.
The Smash Brothers game was so cute.
But even then, in the Smash Brothers game, Gundam and Nekomaru are pushing against each other so hard that they both die. Which is like in the 4th chapter. They both are fighting so hard to stay alive. Gundam and Nekomaru.
Oh, Gundam and Nekomaru.
There's like a lot of references like that where it's cute. Oh, that's a reference to his future death.
Yeah, I didn't look that deeply into it.
And you didn't need to because apparently it doesn't want you to.
Episode 21 started and I said I wanted to see this scene for so long. So I assumed that was a tragedy or what happened in the classroom.
It was either them locking themselves in the classroom or it was like... I don't remember. Yeah, there's something that's like they did a reference to the trash scene at one point.
At some point,
Makoto, they call back to that.
When Makoto's trying not to kill himself or something, his despair squirming on the ground is a solid representation of how it feels during some of the trials.
Danny loves Danganronpa.
You
don't have to. It's okay.
I enjoy finding it bad. That's That's what it boils down to.
And that's the perfect approach to V3. I'm just going to say that right now. Take all the boring, slow stuff just enjoy the stupidity.
I did not like the first game because it was something that I would just like play on my own. It's more fun to find it bad. I didn't realize that going into...
And I didn't realize that going into
game
either.
2.
Yeah.
So I just didn't like a lot of it.
Well, and then Ultra Despair Girls really ramps up the stupid.
It was stupid.
So you're like, this is dumb.
It was also more engaging because I got to play a game sometimes. So I got a break at least. But,
yeah, I was going to say, you're going to have your funhouse moments where we spend 30 minutes explaining how an elevator works.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're going to happen in V3.
Fine. It's going to be fun.
There's going to be out-of-the-blue plot twists that you're like,
I'll save this for V3, though.
But yeah, no, we could talk more about that.
Sagakur's the one wearing the protagonist jacket.
Yeah, you said that.
It is important.
Sure.
Maybe that's just the gay jacket instead of the protagonist jacket.
But Makoto wears it.
Again.
Makoto is so straight, my dude.
I don't know. His interactions with Byakuya look a lot like Toko's fantasies.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, well, I think that's about it in terms of things to talk about. I do want to show you some of the highlights of the dub.
Apparently, I found a shot of Reserve Corps students all falling down, dying.
It's so funny. It's really funny. They just whoop and just fall. And then you just hear as they hit the floor.
I feel like it's a bit of a plot hole with how good of a detective Kyoko is, because they showed the cast of the first game locking down the school to protect themselves.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit of a plot hole that Kyoko didn't pick up on Junko, because she's such a good detective other times.
So here's the thing, right? That stupid, what's it called? That stupid,
that feels like...
That stupid light novel that everyone wants you to read.
It goes into how...
all like. Kyoko is actively investigating Junko during that light novel.
Okay.
And then I think it talks about how she, like, brainwashes her at the end. But, like, think you are pregnant? No, I don't, YouTube.
Good. That's fair.
Anyways, yeah, Danganronpa 3 anime dub.
That just feels like the Mace Windu beating Palpatine moment, when everybody's like, that shouldn't happen! He's stronger!
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's smarter, she should know!
Yeah, correct. Anyways, I have to go to the bathroom really bad.
Okay.
You don't have to watch this whole video, but I want you to see how terrible the dub is, and I'm not going to include this as part of the episode, I'll edit it out. But I want you to see how terrible the dub is.
Just end the recording.
But I want your reaction to it at the end. So, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you want to see how bad the dub is, there's a supercut that's 25 minutes long, and it just shows the really, really bad stuff that happens in the dub. Go watch that. This has been our thoughts on the anime. It's not good, but it's not bad. It's just kind of there. It's aggressively mid. And I think if the ending was better, it'd be better, in my opinion. I don't know. Have you watched anime? Is this your first anime?
I haven't watched, like, a full anime before. Have I?
I don't know.
I don't think I have.
You watched a Pokemon growing up, but does that really count? Yeah.
No, I've watched a few episodes of, like, My Hero Academia.
That's fair. But yeah.
I've watched Spy Family.
You've done it now. You've done it now.
I have.
And now we will tackle the worst, which is V3, but also the best.
Maybe like 2 hours before a break.
Oh, I'm thinking like dinner time. We take a break. Yeah, that's in like, yeah, no, you're good.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Bye. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. We'll see you in V3. Goodbye.